Hey you guys, it's Elle and happy Foundation Friday, and today we're going to be trying out the new NATASHA X foundation. So if you want to know more about that, hit that subscribe button, give me a thumbs up, come on, join our family, and let's get to it. So I've never heard a lot, or I haven't heard a lot about this foundation. I hear a lot about her eyeshadows, but never hear a lot about her foundations, and I've always wondered why. In my Sephora, they got their own bay. She has her own bay, and so it just kind of caught my eye. Now, this foundation retails for $45. I have tried this foundation 2 times, and I will be extremely upfront with you. It did not go well. I was so excited to do this for you guys because of those reasons, and then it just did not go well. So I've played with this a couple of times. I've played with it on dry skin or just skincare skin, and it did not go well. It was really cakey. It was very matte on me. I could not get it to move. It looked really, really poor on my skin. I'm just pulling up the foundation now. She does have another, it's called a Face Glow foundation that I'm interested in trying, but this one, like I said, is called Foundation X. It says it's for all skin types. It has a radiant finish, which in my opinion, I don't want to be negative about this, but I don't agree. But it is a full coverage, long-lasting foundation. It basically means it has a self-setting technique, so you don't need to powder it very much. It basically says the full coverage foundation is infused with special ingredients that help balance the T-zone and absorb excess oil on the skin. It is paraben-free, sulfate-free, phthalate-free. It also has vitamin C in it. It has, let's see here, I want to tell you what it is. It's grapefruit extract for, it promotes skin longevity. It also has pomegranate extract, which is rich in antioxidants and vitamin C, so we all know what those do. It is a dimethicone-based foundation. So it has oil absorbing, it is retail for $45, and the shade range is okay. It does retail for $45, like I said, but it does say it has a radiant finish, and I just don't agree. It has a very matte finish to it. It has oil-absorbing properties in it, so I don't understand how an oil-absorbing foundation can be radiant, all right? So that's just my 2 cents. This side of my face, I did prep with the hangover primer from Too Faced because it is super, super hydrating. And then the other side of my face, I am going to use the new Kevyn Aucoin Neolixir Weightless Beauty Oil because this foundation needs some slip. I tried it with a foundation brush. It did not go on well for my skin type. So my skin type is dry to normal. For oilier skin types, it might be amazing with a brush. So we're going to go in for this side because the first couple times I tried it, I did not prime my skin. So we're just going to go in. It has a very moussey texture to it. It is not a runny formula. It is very kind of mousse-like. So I'm just going to go in here with a little bit of the foundation. I will say that this foundation is very matte. I'm sorry, this foundation is very full coverage, and I don't like it under the eyes, so I'm just trying to wipe that off. I also found that it is not buildable. I mean, it is full coverage right off the bat, but if I wanted to build a little bit more, like say here where my skin is a little bit more, has more pigmentation to it, it doesn't build well. That's when it gets real cakey. So, and again, like I said, for me, it's a beauty blender. My beauty blender is damp, for sure. I also, sometimes with this foundation, or foundations like this, I like to spray my beauty blender with a hydrating toner, just to kind of give it a little bit more movability. So I just feel right off the bat, we're going to look closely in a second here, that one layer is very good. It's radiant because I used a beauty blender, which is damp, and then also because I sprayed it with a Tatcha Dewy Skin Mist. But if you apply it to the skin with just a brush, it's very, very matte. So you do have to really kind of manipulate, in my opinion, this foundation, okay? Now again, this foundation might be great. This foundation might be great for our technique that we did last Foundation Friday, which is how to customize a matte foundation or a skin-like foundation for somebody that is more dry or combination. So maybe that's why we're going to mix in a drop of beauty oil. And we're also going to try that with the, you can also try it with an illuminizing primer mixed in, okay? So I'm just mixing it up here. I'm just going to apply it with this. This is just a clean makeup brush. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I have a few dots here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Kevyn Aucoin Neo Beauty Elixir, and this is also silicone based, so the two should go really well together. I have a sample, by the way, and it just, it's separating a little bit. So I'm going to apply a drop on my beauty blender and then start to push this in. Okay, so with the beauty oil, it is moving on the skin a lot better. It's actually giving me that kind of slip and radiant finish that I was looking for. See, do you see how radiant that is? This beauty oil is really fantastic. I've been trying it over the past week or so, and it's been really pretty. So I do like it a lot better with a beauty oil mixed into it. I'm just going to try to put a little bit on the back of my hand. This foundation you do need to shake, so make sure every time you open this foundation, if you do end up getting it, you do shake it. I put a drop of the beauty oil in the foundation. I'm mixing it together, and I'm going to put it on my beauty blender again. And I'm just going to try to build this up just a little bit. Where it looked the worst the past couple of times that I've used it is over my forehead. It was really, really bad. All right, so this foundation for me looks really pretty with a beauty oil in it. Now, that might not be your jam because you might be more combination or oily, but then I would use it full strength on the center of the face like we talked about, and then a beauty oil around the perimeter. The two sides are very, very similar. They're not a big difference. This one feels better to me because it's just more hydrated. It does have a little bit more glow. But looking at it up close, okay. All right, so I really try not to be negative about things on my channel. I'm just trying to build up a little bit more coverage right here. I don't mean any disrespect to her. She's a makeup artist. Like, I like to really support my community, but the foundation on the forehead looks really nice. On my nose, I don't know, not so good. Especially around here where I do have fine lines. This foundation says it will not sit into fine lines. I don't know. All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm kind of bummed out, to be honest with you, about this whole thing. I try not to be negative about this, but I'm going to finish my makeup. Let's see what it looks like all kind of set, and because I am going to set this since I did use a hydrating primer and an oil. We'll go out into natural light, and let's just see how it looks, okay? So I'll be right back. All right, you guys, so we are back. It's actually been about 45 minutes. It did take me some time to maneuver this foundation, but overall, this is probably the best that I've gotten the foundation to look. As you can see, we have applied an oil to this, a hydrating primer. It still looks really matte. I actually used my Hourglass powder under my eyes to set it, but that's just concealer. But around the perimeter, I did combine my Cover FX powder with my Hourglass powder and diffused light. So I did add kind of a glowing powder to the top of it. This foundation is just super, super matte. So I think this is actually really for somebody that has extremely oily skin. This foundation, in my opinion, is not for more mature skin that is dehydrated, dry, normal. I would hesitate to say combination. I don't actually think that this would be a great foundation to mix in an illuminizing primer. I just don't think that it would mesh well. It is, even in like my little sample guy of it, it separates. So to me, that means that it just has a lot of different ingredients that are kind of competing against each other. So I have to mix it up each time, which is not that big a deal. But for me, that tells me that for skin types that are more oily, that's going to work better. So we're here now. Again, this is not a super glowy foundation. I really like am trying to hold myself back from squirting this with some sort of hydrating mist. It feels very lightweight on the skin. I will say that. It has completely, you know, set with the powder. Again, I did need to set it because of what I altered it with. So far, everything is much better shape than it has been than when I've used this. We're going to go into some natural light as much as I possibly can find. It is about to rain today, so let's come with me and you guys can see this in natural light. Isn't that lip pretty? It's by Flower. I will put that in the description box what it is. I was feeling like a red lip today. All right, so this is way the skin looks. This kind of dewiness right here, I believe, is from the Hourglass primer. Now, in natural light, in my opinion, it does look a lot better than in studio lights. This is exactly why, like, I would love to have a studio to film for you guys all in natural light, because to me, natural light just looks better. So, you know, if you're not a lighting tech, you know, with beauty stuff, so you can really see things. The light is a little bit more true. It's less harsh. But anyway, enough of my lighting talk. But I would love to have a studio that's all a natural light studio. Wow, that'd be awesome. But anyway, so this is what it looks like. You can, if I kind of get in here really close, I've manipulated this quite a bit, but you can still see that it's kind of emphasizing all my texture right here. It has not hid everything. The nose looks a little crazy. I definitely, I will say, let me scoot out here. I definitely will say that it looks so much better set. So once you set this with powder, it definitely comes to life and looks a whole heck of a lot better. So we're going to give this a great wear test. We're going to see how this goes, and I'll see you guys in a little bit. Hi, you guys. So we are at about an hour, or hour 6.5, and it's actually looking much better as it wears. So it's going to be one of those foundations, I feel, that is going to look better on my skin type as it wears. So as my natural oils kind of seep through and kind of lubricate the foundation, I feel like this is one of those that is going to be the end effect, because it's now looking really pretty. You can't see my texture as much. It's wearing really well. I'll kind of scoot in a little bit so you can see it. Obviously around my mouth I've eaten and everything like that, but everything else is looking really good. I obviously have totally compromised the wear time of it, if that makes sense, because of what I mixed into it. So it probably won't last as long as it should because I altered it. So, but we're going to give it a few more hours of wear. My overall thought so far is I think it's a really fantastic foundation for somebody that has really oily skin. I just don't think it's going to be appropriate for somebody like me, or even more mature skin that is more dry and dehydrated. So yeah, so that's so far so good what we're working with, and I will see you guys in a little bit. Hey guys, so it is a lot of it later. It is about 10.5 hours from the beginning that we started. The foundation looks okay. It doesn't look amazing. I will say that, if we can see kind of everything here. It's worn off my nose, but the thing is that I've adjusted the formula. I've added things to it. On this side, though, it has not worn any better than the other side that has no primer on it. So that's just something to note. So do I think this foundation would be great for mature, dry, normal skin? No, not really. Do I think this is probably the holy grail foundation for oilier skin types? Probably. I do love that it has pomegranate in it, which vitamin C. I think that's fantastic. I wish more lines would incorporate skincare into things like foundation and primers. So that is really admirable for sure. And the price point is right on with other foundations that do not have those kind of ingredients in them. So yeah, so it's kind of a toss-up. So if you are more oily combination, this might be the foundation for you. If you are more dried normal, this probably would not be a great fit for you. If you would like me to try her other foundation, which is more of like a dewier finish, let me know, comment below. If not, we will move on to a bunch of new, fun, exciting foundations next week. Thank you guys so much for being here, and I will see you guys in the next one. Lots of love from me to you. Mwah. Bye, guys.